I used to date this guy. I call him my melatonin.
Wow.
His voice
Wow.
was so soothing.
Men,
to me.
we are being used for much more than food. We putting people to sleep. We paying for food,
Listen, I got
hair.
so addicted. Hi, this is Sharna Barnes, and welcome to Dating in the Shadows, episode 2. And I have my couch partner, my talking couch, who is now in front of the camera.
Yes.
Julian. Want to introduce yourself to the team?
Hi, yes, I'm Julian. I am the man behind and now in front of the camera and behind all the edits and audio and everything. Hi.
Love it. Thank you, Julian, for finally coming in front of the camera.
A little nervous
today. I wanted to kick off and talk to you about dating, because it is a dating podcast.
Yes.
But I know you're more of the younger generation, right?
Yes.
So how do you feel like the dating has evolved now, especially in technology? You know, nobody like running into anybody anymore in the supermarket.
Right.
Or nobody, you know, hitting nobody up at the gas station. Like dating apps have become so, you know, popular.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think for starters, it's definitely changed the access to people's dating pools, right? And so I think it creates an era of delusion.
You know, before you would have to have wonder.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you saw
That's
them
true.
in person and you like them, you'd be like, oh, what guy nice. But then you don't know. You don't know if he's into black girls.
That's true.
You don't know if the black girl's into white guys.
Right.
So I feel like the technology kind of helps take away the question.
It does.
But I feel you though.
Yeah, it gives you like a clear understanding, but a more muddled understanding. Like from your growing up to now, what are the biggest things you've seen in the way that men approach women based on technology and the internet?
I feel like now nobody approaches it in person.
Right?
Like no.
Right? That's so true. I always say I'm never the DM guy. I'm never the type to go, but in person, my shooting percentage is high.
Really?
But if I'm shooting through the DMs, it's probably low because I don't know how to play that game. Yeah, you know? So, yeah.
But I feel like no, but they're not coming up in person anymore. Like I'll be out and I can see you looking at me and I see you and you see me looking at you. But I'm not coming to you, you know?
Yeah.
And it's funny because I guess some women do come to the guys. And it's an American thing, because in Jamaica, we is not. No,
Wow.
We will send you hints, a little smile, but we is not coming to you and be like, hey, what's up?
The culture difference is,
Yep.
You don't have a lot of women doing that here, but it is probably a lot more than in Jamaica. Yeah, for sure.
But the guy's not coming up. But on the app, they'll be quick to do a like.
Right.
Or, you know, say, hey, what's up, or something like that. But I think like the app too have made them lazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the frivolous, you know, like the what you call when they open the door for you and all that stuff?
Chivalry.
Right? Like I feel like chivalry's gone, and, you know, because it's like what's crazy. Like they'll be on the app, they'll talk to you back and forth, they ask for your number,
Right.
then they text you.
Yeah.
Like we could have done that on the app. Like, we continuously texting back and forth. Like, when are you going to pick up the phone and call me?
Or set something up.
Yeah. Like, why are you asking for my number to text?
Yeah, that
like,
is
we
kinda
can just
weird.
continue to SMS on the app.
Yeah.
So I feel like it just makes them lazy. And it's just, because there's so much access to different people, on which, you know, it's good.
Right.
Because you get to meet people you wouldn't naturally meet in
Right.
person. But there's so much there. So it's just like, it's like just feeding through them, you know?
Yeah, it is weird because it's wherein I feel like before, when you met somebody, you knew like, okay, you met somebody, so you would actually put forth the effort. You don't know when you're going to meet somebody who you connect with even slightly again.
Yeah,
Now it's
exactly.
like you meet so many people a day or you see so many people a day, it's like fast food.
Yeah.
Okay, I went on a date here, I went on a date here,
Yeah.
da 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 da. And before it was like, man, I met this girl. There was no MySpace. There was no
Yeah.
Facebook. There was, so it's like, oh, I met this girl. I met this guy. Like, I have to lock in with them.
Yeah, you had to like call them on your house phone.
Yeah, you actually have to get to know that person because you ain't know the next time you was gonna. Now you can see a girl out and be like, man, she was beautiful. Not go up to her, not approach her, and go on Instagram and find 10 more people. Yeah, or find her or find more people to follow. Like, it doesn't. My friend says it's called risk aversion, where like you avoid that risk, and that with in person, I feel like it's a lot of risk aversion.
So I met this guy at the gas station, right? And I was just like pumping gas, and he's like, "Oh, hey, beautiful," and I was like, "Oh, hi." You know, it's been a minute I met people in person.
Right,
okay?
right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
I've been a app junkie. So, you know, we exchanged numbers and everything. So I messaged him, and I was just like, hey, this is, because he gave me his number first, and I messaged him and said, hey, this is Sharna, just so you have my number.
Right.
So I left, and, like, he never responded back to that message. So I was just like, damn, I hope I wrote the number down properly in my phone. Because I'm like, that's so odd for him not to respond. So I called him, you know, just to see if I got the right number. And he answered. He's like, oh, hey, Sharna. So obviously, you know, so I'm like, oh, hi. And he was like doing something at the time. So I was like, you know, hit me up when you're free.
Yeah.
2 days passed. He don't hit me back up. So I'm just like, okay, next. Then he called me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to call you back. What?
Oh.
What? Like, no. Like, how you going to forget to call me back? Like, I'm no longer interested.
That's not a forgot. It's again, it's the same thing of, oh, I care less. Like, you don't care less. He approached you.
Exactly.
So it's like,
exactly. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's weird out here.
It is definitely strange.
So weird.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. It's like everybody feels like they're playing a game.
Yeah.
Especially in Atlanta.
Ooh,
especially Atlanta's a game. I don't know how people find love out here, man. More props to you, because it always feels like there's some jockeying for position or some, you know, and like, you know, I'm thankful in my life that I've dealt with beautiful women. You know, I don't know the other side of that. So oftentimes I'll run into some really good ones, and then oftentimes you'll run into the people who are very vain.
Yeah.
And vice versa for the women. I know women who deal with a lot of, you know, fine gentlemen. They run into some good ones, but then a lot of times they run into the ones who are just kind of like stuck on themselves or stuck up a little bit. And I think, like, for me, that's what is the most disappointing within the whole scene, is having, like, meeting beautiful people, meeting people who look really good, but they allow that to get to their head.
Yes.
You know, and that happens a lot through social media. Okay, you have 2,000 followers, but you follow 200 people, and that right there is like an ego boost for you. And it's like, you do realize, like, this is an app.
Right.
That somebody created, like, on the internet. Like, this could be taken off tomorrow. Like, this doesn't hold any real life value. And so I feel like that's a lot of the problems I've run into, is because I deal with women who are beautiful, they get told this all the time. It's not new for them. And so it kind of gets to a point where they probably just feel like it's a status thing. It's so strange, but, like, real life isn't a status thing. Like, real life is what type of person are you? What's your character? What's your integrity? How do you balance your finances? Like, it's
and nobody's ready for that deep conversation.
No.
Like, they're not. Like, it's like communication has just disappeared.
Surface.
Yeah. There's nothing deep. Like, you know, just, hey, how you doing? Checking up on you. You're good. Like, no. Like, I want you to go deeper. Like, what are your fears? You know, what keep you up at night?
Right.
Like, what you want to accomplish? What kind of legacy you want to leave back? Like, those are the questions. Like, I want you to be vulnerable with me. Yeah. And I be that support for you. Right. You know, that wall that you just lay your burdens on. And, you know, as a woman, I'm able to help you feel better. You know, you as a black man, or any man, for instance, but mostly the black men, they're out there with so many different issues. You know, you got to thank God every time they come in through the door.
Right.
'Cause, you know, you don't know so many things out there
That is
set
true.
up to attack them.
Especially here.
Yes.
Especially here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, as a woman in a relationship, like, I want to be that confident for my man. Like, I want him to be able to look forward coming home to me.
Right.
You know, he goes through the stress and he's just like, ooh, I can't wait to come home and to on leave and, you know, just get my peace from my woman.
Mm-hmm.
But with the whole app,
It's
and with
so
the
strange.
old, you know,
Yeah.
digital era, like people don't feel that connection anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Yeah, like how can you be in a relationship with somebody and you don't call them? You text. Like what is this?
Yeah, it's so strange for me. Like I need to talk to you. Like
I want to FaceTime
yeah,
you. You got
like,
an iPhone, I got an iPhone. FaceTime me. I should be the last person you talk to when you go to bed and the first person you think about when you wake up. Like I love just talking,
Y'all hear
communicating.
that? Yeah, you know.
Like let us fall asleep together. You know, like
27 and under. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? All right.
For real.
Don't fall asleep on the phone with me. But
no,
you know.
I fall asleep. Like, I used to date this guy. I call him my melatonin.
Wow.
His voice was so soothing.
Men, we are being used for much more than food. We putting people to sleep. We paying for food.
I got
hair.
so addicted. Like I remember one time I couldn't sleep, and I called him and he was out, and I'm like, like I suffered the whole time because I got so used to hearing his voice. And you don't got to talk anything that makes sense.
Right.
You just gotta
Right.
I feel like at one point he just started to like this mumbling stuff so I can fall asleep. But it's just, oh my God, his voice was so soothing. And I needed that. You know, I craved that.
Right.
So I want to be that last person. And the first person you wake up on when you think about, you don't got to be beside me.
Would you say that people get hurt more often because of technology, because of access? People get cheated on more, people get broken? Or is this something that's been happening since the 90s, since the 80s? Like,
I feel like the heartbreak is not more. And the reason why I say that is because people are not giving the heart. Like nobody is giving the heart anymore. Nobody's loving.
That's deep.
Like, you know, love become a free word now. Like just like, oh, love you.
Right.
Like it no longer has the meaning.
That's true.
You know, for me, love for me, if I'm in a relationship, love for me means I will die for you. Like that's what love means for me. Like if something comes and you are here, you're my partner, and you need a heart, you need a kidney,
Right.
and I'm a match. I'm willing to give that up for you.
Right.
Like that's what love means for me. But a lot of people they're not on there. They're just on the surface love.
Surface
you know,
love. Yep.
That it just love. Oh yeah, I love you. So quick to say, how you gonna love me? And so early, like you don't even know how many siblings I got.
Yeah, love is really an action word.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, love is, I know I love somebody before I say it because of what I do and how I think. And I can tell when somebody loves me before they say it based on how they know. And I know that because it's only happened like 3 times in my life at the age of 24. It's very rare.
Yeah.
You know,
And you never get over a love. Like no matter what, like it may not be as deep. It may not be as deep, but you never get over a love. Like you always will have some level of love for that person.
Let me think.
Like you want to drive a car and hit them down, you know, or wet them up. If they call you when they're really in some real harsh stuff and they're like, yo, I don't know nobody else to call and stuff. If you really love them, and you're able to, you help them still. No, you're like, you're like, oh no. You cut off and you done. Huh?
There's one person that I feel like is probably cut off. She loved me.
Yeah, I'm talking.
But see, I think it actually flipped. She's a part of that group of women where I'll say she has a lot of men who say she's pretty, you know. So we got together, and I think at the beginning it was mutual. I think I got in a little bit like head over heels for her the more we went. And then she was on like the opposite side. I think she ended up breaking up with me. And unlike most guys, when she broke up with me, I have this same mentality with anything else. Soon as something ends, that means something else is meant for you, you know? So I kind of just have this mentality like, if this relationship ends, that's what it was supposed to be. That's how I feel about most opportunities in my life. Like, I know it sounds crazy, but like,
no, it's funny. I've heard a guy of the guy I used to date always said that.
Yeah, it's like I don't necessarily fight for it because I feel like that was supposed to happen. You know, like it.
But what happened when, you know, I don't know, are you a spiritual person?
Yes.
So in the Bible,
Right.
When God said he helped those who help themselves.
Right.
And if we give up, like even when, you know, when Peter was denying Jesus, like he did it 3 times.
Right.
You know, when God has forgiven us, he did it 77 times.
Right.
So why do we just be like, well, sure, I guess it wasn't meant to be. Like, I understand the concept where it protects you from failure.
Yes.
You know, but then I feel like it also prevents you from giving your best.
Yeah, it does. It's a safety mechanism.
Yeah.
It's a safety mechanism so that way I can ensure myself, if this does happen, I already had in the back of my mind like, oh, it's fine. Like, it doesn't allow me to get too invested to the point where it's like, oh, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, because I've been there before. And then that didn't happen, and I was like, what? Yeah. You can decide to spend the rest of your life with somebody and that not be how it work out. And then ever since then, I've kind of just been like, oh no, if something doesn't work, like that's fine. Like it's whatever, you know?
Yeah, no, you gotta fight. Like if it's good, if you really, really sit down and look into things and you're like, I always do. Like if I am deciding, okay, I'm no longer gonna be with somebody, I'll drop a sheet. And I'll put pros and I'll put cons. And I really sit down and number each one. And if I can find pros that are more than the cons, I'll fight for it.
Okay.
I'll fight for it.
I feel like if somebody wants to leave, I want to let them leave. Because I don't want to hold anybody up for what they have going on just as much as I don't want somebody to be in something that they don't want to be in. I feel like if it's my job to show you why you should still be here, then like I feel like it's kind of like too late. I know it's kind of wrong, but I'm like, why should I have to show? Why should I have to show you like, hey, this is why you should stay? You should know that.
Yeah, but what if there's things that the person, you know, a con, right? Right. Where they want to turn it into a pro, right? And they're like, baby, I really need you to work on this, or I really want you to work on this, or you know, I feel like. You have this potential or you're able to do this, but you're not living up to it. Let me help you get to it, right? Yes. But instead of you receiving that, you're like, well, shit, if you want me to be this person, I'm not going to be this person. And if you want to leave because of it, then there's the door.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to lock in with somebody for like 40 years. Just if you're out there, just write in the comments. If you're the type of person,
right, 4 years.
I don't care what pros or cons you have. If you're about an 8.5 to a 10 in the face, then we can lock in for like 40 years. You know, and if you like,
it's like all physical.
No, not all physical. Okay. Yeah, no. Your face just has to be an 8.5 to a 10.
Okay, all right.
I don't care about nothing else. If your face is legit, everything else is fine.
Yeah, but what if her idea of 8.5 is not your 8.5? Who would give the listener who is like, yo, I feel like I'm an 8. Give them an example of who you think an 8.5 is.
If you're Ethiopian or East African, you're probably 8.5 or above.
Okay. Chocolate. I love it.
If you are a Jamaican and Guyanese mixed woman, you are most definitely a 9 to a 10. I've dealt with Jamaican and Guyanese. I've dealt with 2 of them, and both spectacular looking women.
Okay, all right.
If you are Jamaican, you are probably 8.5 and 10 to 10. if you are African outside of East Africa, if you're South African, you know, anybody that is not American, I don't date American women.
What up with the American? What? No.
No, I've had my fair share of American women, and they are just uncultured. Like hot dogs and like fries is like their personality. American culture isn't really a culture. American culture is entertainment. Whereas Jamaican culture is a real culture. African culture is a real culture. We have background, we have history, we have, you know, morals, things that are ingrained in the way that we live. American people don't have that. Their culture is the TV and the radio. So think about women who grew up with parents who are straight from that. Their whole lineage is straight from America. The depth isn't there. And that's the problem I find with a lot of American women. Not that they're not cool, not that they're not driven, successful, but when you start talking about other things in the world,
Yeah.
right over there.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that.
I know you don't relate because you're a Jamaican woman, so like you have a broad perspective.
I'm just thinking about with the men. What I do notice with the American men, they're a little bit more on the lazier side.
Yes.
No, it's it doesn't even matter. Them could be like 30 much, 40 early, and it's just like, damn, nigga, when are you going to start?
When are you going to get right, sir?
Right? Like, when are we?
Let us know.
When are you going to realize or put some fire in this foot, But, that I do notice. But I mean, I don't have a preference as relates to the culture. I don't.
Really? It's good.
I don't. I'm all about energy, and someone who I can communicate with. I want to be in a relationship with somebody. I don't want to
relate.
Yeah, like I don't want to just you come over whenever we do, you leave. Like, no, that's like an arrangement.
Yeah, that's high school.
Yeah. I want to feel goo goo gaga. Like, I want us to sit down.
Yes, I have to have my body tells me every time. That's how I was telling you earlier. You're gonna get on system. You know what, guys? Nope. Stop right there.
No, talk about it.
If you are enjoying this episode of Dating in the Shadows, please make sure on your podcast, Spotify, or Apple Music app to click the next episode because the story I'm about to tell is in the next episode.
Oh, I can't wait.
If you are watching and you see my face right now, you can also watch this on Apple Music, Spotify, and SoundCloud, as well as YouTube as you are currently.
All right. Well, that is a wrap for episode 2. Again, my name is Sharna Barnes, and this is Dating with the Shadows. You can find us on all social media platforms. Until next time, remember to subscribe, click that notification bell for our next episode that's coming up, where I go in more into dating.